Alright everyone, welcome back. This is Bike Talk episode 43, where I review roasted bikes from around the world. You know the deal, let's do it. Alright, first up we got Mick, and he says, "Hey Gary, love channel." Thanks Mick, appreciate that. Roast and compliment in your discretion. Lamo. Alright, we got a GT here, purple GT, can't go wrong. Let's see if we can find a side pick first. Alright. Never gets old, crank arm not straight, no bottle cages. White Maxxis logos, which is pretty interesting, and he does have it lined up with the valve, although this one is between the A and the X, and then this one is between the X's, so no good on that one. Basket is straight, which is good. Quick release lever is straight. Cabling seems alright, pretty decent. Overall the stance I think is pretty sick. 1x7, got some LX here, got some BMX bars, got a stem converter on here. Looking pretty good actually. Okay, let's check out these pics. Alright, got these cute reflectors on here. I feel like these kind of take down the build a little bit, but I know a lot of people run these, so I guess safety is good. It's got some Avid levers here. It's not the ones with the dials, but they're still pretty cool I think. And then got the Fairdown bars. Not sure what stem this is. Looks pretty cool though. Here's the back. So I think this build started off pretty strong, but he started adding all this little kind of unnecessary things, like this light blue cable end bell with a little bit of yellow on it. And then yeah, I guess like this pink and the white matches the bike, but these are starting to go off the bar ends. Yeah, I think the Fairdown bars are pretty cool, but for me, I would like them to have a little bit more upsweep. I think they just seem a little low, a little droopy for me. It's got some giant pedals, it looks like. I can't read that, it's so small. But yeah, looks pretty good overall, pretty sick. Alright, let's take a quick look at his garage. Garage seems pretty sick, like an older style with these kind of folding doors. Wooden garage front, and he's got a lot of junk here that he hasn't cleaned up. Boxes is shoved in this. Looks like he's got some HDX garbage bags, some dog bed things I think, but he's got 4 of them. Maybe these are like the Wii pads or whatever, but yeah, got them all stocked up there. Got a green bike, matches the purple. I think these would go pretty well together, so that's good. I think that's pretty much it. It's not too messy, but I think could do a little bit of organizing here. But yeah, overall not too bad. Gonna roast him for the shadows, definitely. Got 3 shadows going on for this bike, but yeah, overall I think pretty sick build. Pretty sick stance overall, I think. Can't go wrong. Looks pretty good. DDHs and MX bars. Pretty sick. Alright, nice one Mick. Thanks for sending. Cheers. Alright, next up we got Reese. Says, "Hey Gary, long time listener, first time caller. Your channel is my 11-year-old's fave." I don't know if that's roasting me or not. So he said his 11-year-old pressured him into submitting a video, make it a roast, so your 11-year-old knows what's up. 93 Cannondale, XT and XTR, should be pretty good. Got a fork change on it. Let's see, rides with his kids. Put his phone number here, but I'll probably blur this so it doesn't dox himself. Alright, here's the bike. Yeah, overall pretty sick. Bottle is in bottle cage, crank arm is not straight. I feel like you gotta speak to your 11-year-old about that. He'll tell you that it's gotta be straight. Saddlebag is nice. This saddle's seen better days. Definitely being used a lot. Blue grips, not matching the blue frame. Wrong tone. Taking the picture on the second chain ring. Or is it the third? Yeah, the third's even worse. So that's illegal. Running 3x7, which is nice. XT. The new fork looks good. He said this is an Edison fork. Bottle here, not on bottle cage. Here's the other side. Yeah, scratching your pedals here on the rocks. I would say this fork goes with this bike pretty well. Quick release lever in the wrong position. The front one's good. Cable is a little long on this one. He probably switched out the bars, I think. But the back one is nice. Some nice shots here. Pretty sick. Out back, or at least in the wilderness. Yeah, pretty sick. Close up of the brake, or is it just the bottle? Maybe he's just trying to show the rim wear on here. The uneven rim wear, so you can see different color top and bottom. Back wheel shot showing the rusty chain, needs to work on that. Front shot showing the blurry bars, but I do like these lever servo wave. I think they're LX or XT ones. DMR pedals, pretty nice. Alright, yeah, that's it. Overall pretty sick though. Pretty sick stance, I think. Was pretty reserved on the colors, which is good as well. Just the grips. He had a little slip there when I was shopping online and found these grips. But yeah, easy to replace. All right, thanks Reese. Thanks for sending. Cheers. All right, next up is wants me to work with Microsoft. All right, next up is Alexander. This is my rally. Hope you like it. All right, he just wants a review. Hope you guys like it. All right, I guess we'll see. All right, little preview shot again. So first up, I'd say, yeah, frame looks pretty clean. Old style saddle, so maybe an older style bike. But it does have this fatter tubing. So I would say maybe it's late 90s. Got the thumb shifter here, old school on the seat tube. It's got a comic book sticker here. Rim wear, has a lot of wear on your rims, I think. Got some pan erasers here. And okay, he already said the brand, so it's Rally. And then pin cranks here. So is it pinned? I think these are pin cranks, so I would say it's a lower model bike. But yeah, 4130 chromo throughout, be alright. Alright, here it is, little gravel bike. I like the fender on the back here, makes it look pretty fast. Yeah, it looks pretty good. This price stands out. Depending on how tall he is, I think the reach might feel a little bit long, but yeah, it doesn't seem terrible. He's got a short stem on here. But yeah, overall stance looks pretty good, I think. Looks pretty sick. Looks like a rugged, fast bike. Little scenery shot here. Looks pretty cool. This stone fence. Here it is. Got his foam mount on there. Looks like he's out and about. The frame looks pretty clean here. Yeah, it looks good. Here it is before on a bulldozer. Pretty funny. Yeah, I feel like he came a long way. It looks like he changed the cranks though. He changed these cranks to these, but they're almost exactly the same. Like they're both pinned, I think. But yeah, I guess the black looks a little bit better. Overall, pretty sick. Yeah, nice one. Thanks for sending. Cheers, Alexander. Alright, next up is Joshua. Joshua says, hey, I love your channel. Thanks, Joshua. My favorite superhero is Captain America. Please roast my surly cross-check. Love you, John. Alright, so incoming Captain America theme. So he's got the blue, he's got the red, he's got the silver, and no purple in Captain America, so sorry about that. And this doesn't seem like an American brand. So a couple of points off for that. You do have the paw blue levers here, the paw canties, which match one component. Pedals in the same blue. Nice, nice. Got a frame pump there. Captain America would not run a frame pump or a frame bag, I think. Got the blue bolts there matching. Alright, let's see. MX2. Sorry, no yellow on Captain America either. The stem is cool though, I dig it. No yellow zip tie either. I think these are the faded out bars again. Oh, no, maybe they're the surly ones. XT on the back, blue cable, LSF, cable end, friction shifter, both ends, nice. Alright, yeah, pretty sick. Looks like a pretty fun bike. Captain America would not have his saddle like that. No way. I feel like Captain America is kind of like a fast type of guy, not a chill type of guy. So, yeah, gotta remove this and this. Empty accessory mount, got a dinger for that, and I think that's basically it. Overall, pretty nice. Crank arm is straight, bottom and bottle cage. What is this? It looks like soy sauce or something. Alright, pretty sick. I like the frame. It's like an old style, looks like an old style road frame, but I guess it says Surly on it, so, but it looks older for some reason. Maybe it's an old Surly frame, or just a sticker. Anyways, cool bike. Thanks, Joshua. Thanks for sending. Alright, next up is Emil. Oh, another red bike. Emil from Denmark. Hi, Emil. Friend bought it for him from Sweden. It's his Go Get the Kids bike. What do you think? Well, I don't see any kids seats on it, so I think it would be pretty hard to carry kids. Maybe, I feel like this rack you could probably carry like one kid on the front, maybe two kids on the back. I feel like that would work alright. No bottom bottle cages, crank arm not straight. Bars look like they're tilted forward, however, I feel like this position of the bar seems alright. Maybe the bars are just made a little bit weird. Gary Shock stickers, definitely. I feel like this is illegal, showing up to kids' schools with this. Grips are sick. I like this old style octopus grips. LX levers, integrated levers. Oh no, it's not integrated, it's separate. I think so. The difference between the LX and the XT ones is this curve, I think, or the DX ones also have more of an angular. LX is curved depending on the year. Original coda cranks. I think this is a medium chainring. Rock Bro pedals. Lego to pick up the kids. I feel like even your kids would probably roast you for this. Brook saddle. You know what I think about Brook saddles. This one is pretty worn in, so I guess it looks better. Coda hubs too. Alright, final pick. Yeah, pretty nice. Pretty sweet ride, I think. I like the uprightness and yeah, just like the hookworms. I think it'd be pretty heavy with the hookworms, but yeah, it would roll nice at least. Alright, thanks for sending, Emil. Cheers. Alright, next up is another red bike from John. Please review, I love you. Alright, review. So, no roast. So, let's see. This is kind of like, yeah, another Pokemon pack. So, first up, we got a clean cassette. Looks good. It says Cannondale on it. So, I'm thinking it might be M series. Newer style because of this typeface. Dior, newer style derailleur as well. Alright, next pick. Carbon. Must be a newer style bike. Reflex. Never seen this before. Reflex front mech. Got some nice chain rings on here. So it looks like you upgraded the drivetrain with new cassette, new rings. Should be pretty nice. Paint's looking good on the Cannondale. Not sure what these biking green cranks are, but yeah, it looks kind of funky, I think. I think the cranks, because they're so kind of smooth and soft, and this is kind of rigid and hard. I feel like that's kind of clashing a little bit. XT thummies, rigid Cannondale, no head shock. Got a really sus hole here. Not sure why that's the Tektro levers. Oh, more of a clue here. So is this a road frame maybe? Okay, so it's got the new and old happening here. It's got the micro shift, but the Dior on the other side. Looking good. Alright, here it is, 700C, an old, very classic racing bike. Upgraded carbon forks, upgraded wheels. Yeah, it looks real fast. This would be a fast bike for sure. Cockpit looks pretty nice. Saddle looks fast. I feel like for this type of bike, his saddle would probably be a little bit higher for such a fast bike, but yeah, no bottom bottle cages, crank arm not straight, and that's basically it. That's the bike. I think overall it's a sick bike. It does have non-matching cables as well, but I don't mind it. Yeah, I think the only thing that really throws me off is these cranks. I feel like they kind of throw off the whole bike a little bit, but yeah, overall pretty sick. Nice. This is a fast bike. Thanks, John. Thanks for sending. Alright, next up is Spiros, and another red bike. I can't believe it. Is it all red bikes this time? I feel like that's a lot already. Alright, hi Gary, roast away. Okay, cheers Spiros. First up, roasting you for this rack that's barely welded on. I feel like this top bit's gonna snap soon. Look at that. Roasting you for tons of cables but not carrying anything. Roasting you for front brake on a fixed gear. That's illegal. Gonna roast you for the bike light pointing down to nothing. Alright, let's see if we can get a side shot. Also no bottom bottle cage. Crank arm not straight. Alright, side shot here. Lock matching bike. Okay. I feel like the position of the lock and just having this extra Velcro strap is a little bit weird. This would kind of annoy me. It would kind of make locking up kind of annoying, I think, because you got to do one extra thing here rather than just clip it off. Got a little fender here, half a fender, two fenders on the front, fenders not on properly, kind of janky, non-matching tires. Here's the back shot. Looks like a fun bike though, fun bike to ride. Got a frame bag here. Yeah, overall I still like it. All jokes aside, looks like a pretty nice kind of fun fixed gear, compact steering here. And yeah, true fixie with a rack on the front. But yeah, I think just maybe like a few too many accessories. But yeah, overall pretty sick. Thanks, Piros. Alright, next up is Tim. Tim says, hi Gary, greetings from Cali. Love your channel, thanks Tim. Okay, latest build, let's see. Couldn't keep his pedals straight, but sent it anyway. He said couldn't keep it straight with the toe clips. Please don't deduct points. If anyone has any advice, let me know. Okay, so he just said rate his setup. I don't think he says roast on it, so we'll just rate it. Alright, first up, I'm gonna rate his... I'm gonna rate his cabling here. I would rate it pretty low just because it's a little long and a little too white. Stands out a little too much. Same with the back here. Just a little too long. I'm gonna rate his tires. I think his tires are good. I'd rate him high because it's kind of like a light tan bore, but for rating his saddle, I would not rate his saddle at all, just because it's the wrong era, it's the wrong brown, and just doesn't go. I rate his rack. The rack looks good, pretty fresh. Rating his crank arm, I'd rate it low again, not straight. Rating his bottle cages, or lack of, low again. That's got to be a 0. Rating his dork disc. That's got to be a 0. Alright, close-up pictures of the cabling. I rated it low here, so yeah, I think a close-up picture doesn't help. The bar tape looks nice though. Looks pretty well done. The thin cloth bar tape, so I rate that high. Got the simplex friction shifter, I rate that. More front rack picks. Pretty nice front rack. Rating your tubing, Reynolds 501, so heavy. So that's a low rating. Front shot again, another shot. Alright, yeah, overall pretty sick. Looks like a classic Peugeot. I think some of the, I think really just the saddle. Like if you change your saddle to a turbo saddle, just because I'm super biased, I'd rate this. I'd rate this bike. I like the salmon pads upgrade too. Nice. Alright, cheers Tim. Thanks for sending. Alright, next up is Teddy. Alright, he wrote a long email, so let's see. Big fan, thanks Teddy. 92 Lightspeed Mountain. He asked for a review because he's scared of a roast because he's a sensitive soul. Has a weird story. So if you want to read this, you can read this. I'm just gonna kind of cut to the chase. Alright, just want a review. Yeah, overall pretty sick. I like all the I like all the stuff on it. The stickers, 2 bottom body cages, crank arm is straight. Like these fat pedals. Big platform pedals, they're nice. Not really into tires, but these Billy Bonkers should roll nice. I just don't like this deep tan color. Seat post looks cool. I like this little accessory on the back. Yeah, fully decked out bike. Pink crate, works well. Alright, here it is in the light. TI Lightspeed. Yeah, pretty sick. See if there's any close-up pictures. Alright, this bike's basically camouflaged here. But yeah, matches. Got a baby head on there for some reason. I don't know why. Got U-lock here, orange U-lock. Yeah, it kind of works when everything is just like, yeah, colors and stickers everywhere. I feel like that goes. Bike has a lot of personalities. I like the bars. These are, I think, the Nitto high-rise bars. High bars or something like that. Got the neon green to go with the neon pink. Yeah, sick. Looks great. Yellow goes with the pink as well. Got a little computer here. A little bit more info here. And then I think he sent this one later, so the pictures work. Nice. Looks like a sick bike. Nice and fun. Cheers, Teddy. Thanks for sending. Alright, next up is Luke, and he says, hey Gary, was inspired by videos, try my own build. Really helped. Please review. Alright, let's review it. I think maybe I've done this before. Let's see. Yeah, I think I did this one before because he sent it earlier, so hopefully you saw it in one of the episodes, but here it is. Pretty sick, I think, overall. I like the paint. I like the fender on the back. I like the crank arm being straight. Overall pretty sick stance, I think. Thanks, Luke. Alright, next up is Jonathan, setting photos in the zip file. Sorry John, you gotta reopen that. I don't open zip files in case they contain viruses. Alright, next up is Per Christian. Hey Gary, please roast my new dad bike build, please. Alright. This is actually quite sick. Gonna roast you for being in dad and trying to get air and trying to be extreme. Yeah, overall pretty sick, I gotta say though. Nice fat tires, nice fenders, big rack. Kid seat matches the bike, which is nice. Not full of colors and has a good kind of shape to it. I will roast you for the flight on a dad's bike because you're not going anywhere quick. Bottom bottle cage. Nice. Alright, here's a front shot running LX 8-speed, I think this is, and he's got the single lever here. I wonder if he chopped it off. I've never seen these by themselves really. They're cool looking levers though. Got the straight bars, works well. Got some straps, nice. Alright, here's a close up of the levers again. Bottle, 1x, plastic pedals, underrated for dad's bikes. Cassette could use a clean, chain could use a clean. But yeah, overall pretty sick. There's not too much to roast on this one. Thing looks like a sick build. Yeah, super sick. Definitely rate this one. Yeah, all the colors matched, didn't go overkill. Probably, I would say you probably have the coolest bike at school for sure. Thanks Christian, thanks for sending. Alright, next up is Albert, and he says basic roast me. Alright, first up, saddle too small, no bottle in bottle cage, pedal not straight, tan wars too dark, too many bags on the front here. resistant to get a rear rack. So he chucked all his bags on the front. He only sent one pic. Running 2x7, nice. Dork disc is clean and clear, so I'll give you a pass on this one. Running a Sarah X, so low end derailleur, high end cranks. I think these are LX. Nice little bell here. Yeah, overall pretty sick. Should ride nice actually. Cheers, Albert. Alright, next up is Chris. Chris says, hey Gary, I picked this up, 91 Miata. And alright, cheers from Toronto. Cheers, Chris. Alright, let's see. He says a roast, so yeah, I'm not into this this bar wrap at all. I feel like, yeah, it just reminds me of like an exercise machine. Bike is looking good. I like these forks. Let's see what else we got. Looks like he rides his bike pretty dirty, but I would say it's almost too dirty. He probably needs to give it a clean. Looks like he just rode it in mud. Probably just to send his photo in, I think. I think these are Dior cranks running Biopace. Overall pretty sick. I think, yeah, the reach looks a little bit long, but he does have his saddle pushed. Can't tell if he's pushed forward or just in the middle. It looks set back a lot because, yeah, maybe it's just this seat post. But yeah, I feel like the reach would be a little long. Cabling, pretty nice, I think. For some reason, these ones look better than the white ones in the previous bike. Rim wear seems more on the rear than on the front. Missing the Miata graphics, so a couple of points off for that for sure. Unfortunate. But what can you do? Yeah, this is kind of like a touring bike. Maybe the reach is alright. He just has his seat low. Good for getting on and off. MKS pedals, quick release in the right position, a few rusty bolts here and there. But yeah, overall pretty good. Pretty nice. Should ride well this one, I think. I think this is like 27.5 or 700C or something like that. Maybe even 28. But yeah, nice bike. Good, nice touring bike. Thanks for sending. Cheers, Chris. Alright, next up is Davey. And he says, please do a review roast. Alright, from Austria. Shout out Austria. Alright, this cool bike shop in the background. Looks like they got some cool bikes going on in there. Some XT here hanging in the window. Non-drive side facing outwards though. Which is interesting. Alright, this is his bike. Yeah, overall pretty sick, I think. I don't like this chainstay protector. I think it's too short and there's just something wrong with it. Needs work on this one. Maybe spread it out a bit. I think it would look a little bit better, too bunched up. I'm gonna roast you for your water that you're carrying in there. I feel like this water doesn't seem that clean. That could be an issue. Crank arm is not straight. It almost is, but it's not. Bottles in bottle cages though. Gonna roast you for this little slip here. Whole bike was looking sick and then you see this and you're like, what is this? What is this? Bars look good, stem looks good, basket looks good. Even this Brook saddle looks good. Got some accessories on the back. Oh, it looks like he started dialing it up. Let's see. Let's see, we've got some other pics. Alright, yeah, bars look good. These are velvet orange bars, pretty sure. XT, V-brake lever with LX. Pedal upgrade as well, nice. Alright, not sure what this is. Probably unnecessary. I think this is just for a bit of flair. Reflector, I'll give you a pass on a reflector. Yellow and blue goes pretty well. Ritchie rims here. Nice, wide rims. And race face cranks. Alright, yeah. Pretty good. I think this is heinous though. Definitely got to get rid of that. Oh, here's another accessory here. Like another little bead. I feel like the beads are overkill again. But yeah, I guess if you like them, rep them. But yeah, a little too much for me. Alright, thanks Davey. Thanks for sending. Cool bike. Overall stance is sick. Alright, next up is Jalba. Hey Gary, big fan channel. Thanks Jalba. Here's a commuter. Alright, Pokemon pack again. Let's see. Looks like it's going to be a GT in blue. STX. This cassette has seen better days. We'll have some type of rear rack on here. Ooh, got the ugly tan wall tires. Points off of that already. Alright, it's an aluminium 700 series GT. Let's keep going. Alright, here it is. Yep, definitely looks worse than I expected. I thought it was going to be pretty sick because it did look pretty clean in this section, but then yeah, this frame bag doesn't fit. This is kind of funny. Got like 2 seat clamps on here for no reason. QR in the wrong position. Crank arm not straight. It does look like a comfy ride. And I would say your cables are a good length, so you got that going for you. These got some funky SIS shifters. These are actually pretty sick with the button press and then the push. They look cool. Like, cockpit looks pretty cool, I think. Just this is pretty heinous. That's it. That's all the photos. Alright, yeah, overall looks like pretty comfy bike, I think. But yeah, there's a lot of sacrifices made to make it a comfy bike. Alright, thanks for sending Java. Nice. Alright, next up is Stan. Says, hey Gary, from Paris with love. Cheers, Stan. No pics. Alright, Stan's back with another email. Says, hey Gary, please let me introduce you to my bike, Peugeot Hurricane. Alright, Peugeot from France. 30 euros. They definitely cost more than 30 euros here. 531, steel tubing, tan fork, so nothing special, but good enough. 1x10, Nitto, no name handlebars. I let you my bike to see conventional roasting. Alright, from Paris with love, Stan. Thanks, Stan. Merci. Okay, here's the bike. I've actually had this bike, not the Hurricane, but Izoard. Pretty sick paint, and this is the same. I feel like the paint chips real quick though. It's hard to keep this, keep it nice, but let's see. Yeah, overall pretty sick from the first pick. Nice frame, nice fat tires, Race Kings. Cockpit looks good. Light blue cabling or teal cabling is a nice touch. Hard to match that with the fade, but yeah, this is almost like an impossible job and you did it. Nice little crane bell here. Is that crane bell or crane bell ripoff? Something like that. MKS pedals. Gonna roast you for the hole in your saddle. Tires look good. Gonna roast you for the band-aid on your chainstay. What is this? Wide range cassette. Nice. Rims look good. They look fast. Nitto stem looks good, of course. Yeah, matches color housing. Pretty impressed with that, to be honest. Dior brakes. This is illegal. It says Casper the Ghost or some type of soccer player. Maybe some French thing I don't know about. Oh, illegal. Anodized blue seat post clamp. This blue is not matching. Alright, here's the bike. Pretty sick. This is like, I feel like this is a dream frame. It's pretty hard to get one of these, and I think they look cool. I gotta roast you for having too many spoke cards here. Not sure why you need that many. Crank arm up straight, no bottle cages. But yeah, overall pretty sick stance, I think. This is a sweet bike. I probably wouldn't have went with kind of like the deep dish silver rims, but yeah, overall pretty good, I think. Thanks, Stan. Thanks for sending. Cheers. Alright, this is the last bike. This is Scott Zach. I feel like he sent an email before. Let's see if it's the same bike. Is this the same bike? Alright, so Scott sent this on last time. It's a different bike, so let's see it. Alright, he loves sending these Google images though. What did he ask for? Just a roast. Alright, overall pretty sick. This is way better than your last bike. Billy Bonkers. Too many Billy Bonkers in this episode, so gotta roast you for that. No bottle cages. I do like the all black. I like the bars. I think they look good. Pretty clean build overall. Red cable end, unnecessary. Red bolt here, unnecessary. Alright, let's see a couple other pics. Not too much to this one actually, just a nice clean bike. It does look pretty cool, this headshot Cannondale with the MX bars. I think that suits it pretty well. Alright, roasting you for the artistic shot. This is my reaction when I see his bike, like, not again, not these tan wars again. That's basically it. Hope you guys liked it. If you sent, I feel like I got a bunch more this time. If you sent, I'll get to it soon. See you next week, and yeah, peace.